Okay, what I'm going to be attempting here is just a little fret repair. Now, often you see this happened in shipping, I believe. Sometimes somebody will drop a guitar and it bangs on the strings, whatever it's hit, and it'll make some little string indentations in the fret. And they can be really bad. If they're bad enough and deep enough, it's probably going to require a complete fret level. What you can do if it's not too deep is do a little filing on the fret, and you're basically going to have to flatten it down a little bit in those areas and then kind of recrown so you get the curved shape back on top of the fret after you've gotten rid of those indent marks. Any small file will work. This happens to be a StewMac fret end file, which I kind of use for this a lot of times because it's so small and you can just focus on one area. You don't have to mess up too much of the fret that way. And to start off, you know, just take it really slow. I'm just flattening out those areas where the strings made indents on the fret. And the goal here is to remove just enough to where you can get rid of the marks. If you take too much of the fret off, too much metal, then you're going to end up with this fret being lower than the other two surrounding it, and it's going to lead to buzzing. And it doesn't hurt to try this. If you got some buzzing and it's just not going to work, then you can go for the full fret level. But at least doing this, you can attempt it, see if you can get out of doing a fret level. So I've got a 3-sided file here now, and I'm just going to start rounding the fret a little bit because I've flattened here. And the other thing I could do is take a magic marker here, and then I can see just how much I'm taking off. I think I've gotten rid of most of the indents. This was a couple real light indents, so it didn't take much. Now that I've got a magic marker mark on top of the fret, you don't want to take off the top if you can help it. In this case, we had to take off some, obviously, to get rid of those marks, but now we just don't want to take off any more if possible. I'll use that 3-sided file, but I also have one of these crowning files that I'll go to try and get the round shape back on the top of that fret. And you see, you don't need to go over the whole fret here. We're just going to work on the part that had the damage. Take something after that, any kind of abrasive like these fret erasers, or just sandpaper. Fine sandpaper works too. These fret erasers have different coarseness to them. I think this last one I'm on here is either 800 or 1000 equivalent. Okay, starting to smooth out a little bit. And now lastly, I'll take some somewhat higher grit sandpaper here and smooth it out even more. Move up to a little finer grit. Now I can feel there's no more indentations on that fret, so we got rid of them, and it looks pretty nice and round again. So that's just the last little thing. I will take some polish to it, see how it looks. The real test is going to be stringing this back up and seeing how it plays. We can also take a fret rocker like this here, and so yeah, this next fret is registering as higher now, higher than this one, and so is this one. It's not ideal, but once we string it up, we will see if if we took off too much and if it's actually buzzing. If you had to take off too much metal and you can't get the guitar to set up right now, then you're gonna have to just break down and do a level. But anyway, that's how you can attempt to get rid of a couple marks, kind of cheat the system, see if you can get away without having to do the full fret level. The other thing you can do, I should have checked it before I did the work on that fret. So I took some off this fret to fix the indents on it. Then I said this one's showing a little high with the fret rocker. But once I took my little fret setter and just set the 3rd fret like that down, I think it had just been popped up. It's not quite as bad now. Almost no rocking going on now. A little bit right there where the high E is going to sit, and the fret above it here, the 4th fret, we're not having any problems. So I think we're going to get away with this one. We'll just check once the strings are on here how that high E is doing, and if I have to, again, a little cheat, I might just take a little tiny bit off this fret. If there's any buzzing going on, might be able to fix it.